The glass display case shattered under my touch, sending crystal champagne flutes cascading to the floor in a symphony of destruction. My 18th birthday gift to myself, breaking something worth more than 3 months of the unpaid work my parents forced me into. I'm Mary, and I just became a legal adult in a family that treats me like their personal slave. What have you done? Mother's voice cut through the tinkling aftermath. She rushed forward, her designer heels crunching over the debris of our store's most expensive collection. Do you have any idea how much this costs? Exactly 342 hours of my time, I said, letting the inventory clipboard clatter to the counter. I've been counting. Father emerged from the back office, his face already flushed with that particular shade of rage I'd grown familiar with. You ungrateful! Ungrateful! I laughed, the sound sharp enough to match the broken glass at our feet. For what? The privilege of working 60-hour weeks without pay while Ryan gets to skip school and crash cars? Your brother isn't part of this discussion. Mother's perfectly manicured fingers trembled as she tried to salvage a mostly intact flute. This is about your responsibility to the family business. Responsibility. The word tasted bitter. Is that what we're calling exploitation now? Father stepped closer, his shoes leaving crystalline footprints. You live under our roof, eat our food, and slave in your store while you funnel my would-be wages into Ryan's third replacement vehicle this year. I pulled out my phone, displaying the screenshots I'd taken of the store's payment records. Funny how there's no trace of my work anywhere in these books. Mother's face went white. You've been snooping through confidential documents? Confidential? I raised an eyebrow. Or just convenient to keep hidden from grandmother Eleanor. The mention of Eleanor's name hit like a physical blow. Mother grabbed my arm, her nails digging in. Your grandmother has nothing to do with this. This is about your future, your legacy. My future, I yanked free. The one where I work myself to death while you two play favorites with Ryan? That's enough. Father slammed his hand on the counter. From this moment on, you'll work double shifts to pay for this damage. No more school activities, no more. No, the word felt like freedom. Excuse me? I said no. I stepped back, surveying the destruction I'd caused. I'm 18 now. You can't force me to work for free anymore. Mother's laugh was hollow. And where will you go? What will you do? You have nothing without us. Watch me. I turned toward the door, my heart hammering, but my steps steady. Oh, and you might want to clean this up before grandmother stops by later. She mentioned wanting to review the store's finances this week. The silence behind me was deafening. I pushed through the door, setting off the cheerful customer bell one last time. Outside, my phone buzzed with a message from Laura at Coffee Corner Cafe. My secret job interview had been successful. I'd been planning this moment for months, squirreling away tips from occasional weekend work there, building an escape fund dollar by dollar. They thought they owned me. They thought wrong. As I walked away from our family's precious tableware store, I could still hear them arguing inside, their voices rising in panic. They didn't know it yet, but I'd made copies of everything I'd found in those financial records. Years of creative accounting, missing payments, and suspicious transactions, all carefully documented and ready to be revealed. This wasn't just about escaping anymore. This was about justice, about revenge, about making them feel as trapped and powerless as they'd made me feel for years. I pulled out my phone again, scrolling to grandmother Eleanor's number. My finger hovered over the call button. Not yet. First, I needed to gather more evidence, build my case stronger, make sure that when I finally struck, there would be no recovery. Let them think they'd won for now. Let them believe their perfect facade was still intact. I had time, and more importantly, I had nothing left to lose. The sound of Ryan's new sports car revving into our driveway made my hands clench around the acceptance letter from Coffee Corner Cafe. 3 cars in 1 year, while I couldn't even get minimum wage for 60-hour weeks. Did you see it? Ryan burst through my bedroom door without knocking, jangling his keys. 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. I folded the letter carefully, sliding it under my physics textbook. Congratulations on your latest reward for failing calculus. Don't be jealous just because you're stuck folding napkins and dusting Crystal. He flopped onto my bed, muddy shoes and all. Maybe if you weren't such a try-hard, Mom and Dad would actually like you. The words stung more than they should have. Get out. Make me. He grabbed my phone from the nightstand, scrolling through it. What's this? Coffee Corner interviews. Interviews? His eyes widened with gleeful malice. Oh, this is good. Wait until Mom. I lunged for the phone. But he danced away, already typing. Ryan, don't you dare. Too late. He tossed the phone back, grinning. Mom's asking you to come downstairs. Now. My heart hammered as I checked my messages. Ryan had forwarded my entire conversation with Laura to our mother. Every carefully planned detail of my secret job search exposed in an instant. Mother's voice carried up the stairs. Mary, living room. Immediately, I found them both waiting, Father having apparently materialized from his office for this particular inquisition. Mother held up her phone, like evidence in a trial. Explain this. There's nothing to explain. I kept my voice steady. I'm 18. I can apply for jobs. After everything we've given you. Father's face reddened. The ungrateful, given me. I cut him off. You mean like the new Porsche you just gave Ryan? Or wait, was that bought with the money you should have been paying me? That's different, Mother snapped. Your brother. My brother what? Needs another car to crash? Needs more rewards for his D- average? The words poured out like acid. Meanwhile, I'm working myself to death for free while maintaining straight A's, and you can't even acknowledge. Enough! Father slammed his hand on the coffee table. You want acknowledgement? Fine, you're acknowledged. From now on, you'll work morning shifts at the store before school, evening shifts after, and full weekends. That's impossible with my course load. Then drop some classes. Mother's smile was razor sharp. Family comes first, dear. Unless you'd prefer to start paying rent. Ryan appeared in the doorway, smirking. Better cancel those cafe dreams, sis. Looks like you're stuck with us. I stared at them, my so-called family, and something inside me hardened into steel. You know what? Keep the store. Keep your manipulation. Keep everything. I turned toward the stairs. Buzz. I quit. You can't quit, Mother called after me. What about college tuition? Your future? I paused on the steps, remembering the financial records I'd photographed. Funny you should mention money. I wonder what Grandmother Eleanor would think about where it's really going. The silence that followed was deafening. When Mother spoke again, her voice had lost its edge. What exactly are you implying? Nothing yet. I met her gaze. But maybe we should all start being more careful about what we hide, and from whom. I climbed the stairs, Ryan's confused questions fading behind me. In my room, I pulled out my phone and dialed Laura's number. I can start tomorrow, I said when she answered. But I need morning shifts, and I need to learn everything. Inventory, ordering, accounting, everything. That's ambitious, Laura replied. Any particular reason? I thought about the documents hidden in my cloud drive, about years of financial manipulation I'd discovered while doing the store's books. Let's just say I'm investing in my future. After hanging up, I sat at my desk and opened my laptop. Time to start documenting everything. Every transaction, every discrepancy, every lie. My parents thought they were teaching me about family business. Instead, they were teaching me exactly how to destroy one. From downstairs, I could hear them arguing in hushed, panicked tones. Let them worry. Let them wonder exactly what I knew and what I planned to do with that knowledge. They wanted to talk about legacy? Fine. I'd give them a legacy they'd never forget. The numbers didn't lie. They couldn't. Not when I'd spent 3 sleepless nights cross-referencing every transaction, every deposit, every suspicious entry in our store's books. My hands trembled as I stared at my laptop screen. Spreadsheets reflecting in my glasses like digital evidence of betrayal. $500,000. That's what my parents had siphoned from the store over the past 5 years. The same years they'd worked me to exhaustion without pay, claiming the business was struggling. A knock at my door made me slam the laptop shut. Mary, it was Ryan, his voice uncharacteristically hesitant. Grandmother Eleanor's here. She's asking for you. My stomach dropped. Eleanor's surprise visits usually meant audits. Mother's earlier panic about my threats suddenly made perfect sense. I found Eleanor in the store's back office, elegant as always in her tailored suit. Mother hovered nearby, a forced smile plastered on her face. "There's my brilliant granddaughter," Eleanor said, embracing me. "I hear you've been managing the books lately." Mother's smile tightened. "Mary's just helping with basic inventory." "Actually," I interrupted, meeting Eleanor's sharp gaze, "I've been handling all the accounting for the past year." "Wonderful." Eleanor settled into Father's chair. "Then you can help me understand these quarterly reports. Some figures seem unusual." Mother's hand gripped my shoulder. "Mary needs to prepare for her evening shift. The evening can wait." Eleanor's tone left no room for argument. "David, Linda, why don't you handle the floor? Mary and I have some numbers to discuss." The moment they left, Eleanor's warm demeanor shifted to steel. "Show me everything." My hands shook as I opened my laptop. "Grandmother, before I do, I need to know something. The store, it's technically yours, isn't it? Not theirs." "Legally, yes. I only transferred management rights, not ownership." She studied me carefully. "Why?" Instead of answering, I turned the screen toward her. "Start with the payroll records. Notice anything strange about the employee compensation?" Eleanor's eyes narrowed as she scrolled. "There's no record of your wages." "Because there aren't any. I've worked here 60 hours a week for the past year, unpaid." I pulled up another spreadsheet. "But look where that money went instead." As Eleanor examined the documents, her expression hardened. Each click revealed another layer of deception. Inflated expenses, as hidden accounts, diverted funds. The evidence of my parents' betrayal laid bare in columns and rows. "How long have you known?" she asked quietly. "And I started suspecting when Ryan got his third new car." I swallowed hard. "Then I found these records. They've been using my unpaid labor to cover the money they're stealing from you." A commotion from the storefront interrupted us. Mother's voice carried through the door. "Eleanor, we have some concerns about Mary's accusations." "Accusations?" Eleanor called back, her voice arctic. "I don't recall hearing any accusations. I'm simply reviewing our books with my granddaughter's assistance." The door burst open. Father stood there, face flushed. "Mary, go home now." "She stays." Eleanor didn't look up from the screen. "David, Linda, you might want to call your lawyer. I'm calling mine." Mother stepped forward, desperate. "Whatever Mary's told you, she's twisted the truth. She's jealous of Ryan, bitter about..." "About what?" I stood up, fury finally breaking through. "About you stealing from your own mother. About using me as free labor to cover your tracks. About..." "Enough." Eleanor's quiet command silenced the room. "Mary, send me copies of everything." "Linda, David, I suggest you prepare to explain $500,000 in discrepancies." The color drained from my parents' faces. Father moved toward the laptop, but I was faster, snatching it away. "Too late," I said. "It's all backed up. Every transaction, every lie, every cent you stole." "You ungrateful little..." Mother lunged forward, but Eleanor's voice cracked like a whip. "Touch her, Linda, and I'll have you arrested this instant." In the silence that followed, I could hear Ryan in the doorway, his whispered, "Holy shit," echoing my thoughts exactly. Eleanor stood, straightening her jacket. "Mary, you'll work directly for me now. Paid, of course." "Linda, David, expect my lawyers to contact you shortly." As she swept out, Mother grabbed my arm. "You've destroyed this family," she hissed. I pulled free, finally seeing them clearly. "No, you did that yourselves. I just exposed the cracks." The store's bell chimed. As Eleanor left, the sound like a death knell for my parents' carefully constructed facade. Their empire of lies was crumbling, and I had lit the match that would burn it all down. Kevin, the auditor's face, remained impassive as he slid another document across Eleanor's desk. "There's more," he said quietly. "The money wasn't just diverted from the store." I leaned forward, my coffee from Laura's cafe growing cold beside me. The past week of working with Eleanor's team had revealed layers of deception I hadn't imagined possible. They've been forging your signature, Kevin continued, addressing Eleanor. On loans, multiple loans, using the store as collateral. Eleanor's fingers tightened around her pen. How much? Another $250,000. He paused. And Mary's name is on some of them, too. The room tilted sideways. That's impossible. I never signed anything. Your 18th birthday, Eleanor said slowly. All those documents they had you sign for insurance purposes. Remember? My throat closed up. The stack of papers Mother had rushed me through. Father hovering nearby with champagne and cake, distracting me with celebrations while I signed away my future. They've ruined you, Samantha, Eleanor's lawyer, spoke from the corner. Financially, legally, you'll be liable for these debts unless we can prove fraud. A knock interrupted us. Through the glass partition, I saw Ryan shifting nervously in the store. Mother and father stood behind him, their faces set in matching masks of concern. They're here for the family meeting, Eleanor said. Mary, you don't have to. I do. I stood straightening my blazer, a gift from Laura after my first week at the cafe. But first, there's something you should see. I pulled up the hidden camera footage on my phone, the one I'd installed after finding the first discrepancies. Mother's voice filled the room. Once Eleanor's gone, we'll transfer everything to offshore accounts. Mary's signature makes her the perfect scapegoat. Eleanor's face hardened. Let them in. The family meeting began like any other, with lies, Mother's practiced smile, Father's confident posture, Ryan's feigned boredom. But something had shifted. I wasn't their puppet anymore. We've prepared a proposal, Mother began, to restructure the business. Into what? I interrupted. Another shell company to hide your theft. Father's smile flickered. Mary, you're clearly confused about the loans in my name. I played the recording. Watched their faces drain of color as their own voices betrayed them. Or about making me the fall guy for your fraud. Ryan shot up from his chair. What the hell, Mom? Ryan, sit down, Mother snapped. Mary's obviously fabricated. Like you fabricated my signature. I pushed forward the loan documents. Or fabricated the store's profits while stealing from your own mother. Everything we did was for this family. Father's fist hit the desk. To maintain our lifestyle. To give you children. To give Ryan everything while working me like a slave. The words burned like acid. To steal my future while planning to frame me for your crimes? Eleanor's voice cut through the chaos. Linda, David, my lawyers will contact you about criminal charges. Ryan, you'll stay with me until this is sorted. Mary, she paused. The store is yours if you want it. Mother lunged forward. You can't. I can and I have. Eleanor's tone could have frozen fire. You've lost everything. Leave now, or I'll have security escort you out. As they left, Mother's threats echoing, Father's shoulders slumped in defeat. Ryan lingered. I didn't know, he said quietly, about any of it. I swear. I studied my brother's face, seeing real fear there for the first time. Neither did I until I started looking. What happens now? I thought about the cafe, about Laura's lessons in honest business practices, about Eleanor's faith in me, about the store that had been both my prison and my inheritance. Now, I said, we rebuild the right way. But as I watched Ryan follow Eleanor out, my phone buzzed with an anonymous message. Think you've won? Check your email. My inbox held a single message, screenshots of every questionable transaction I'd made while gathering evidence, twisted to make me look like the thief. Mother's final revenge, beefy venge, already posted across social media. The war wasn't over. It was just beginning. The social media notification kept buzzing as I wiped down tables at Coffee Corner Cafe. Each ping represented another person believing my mother's carefully crafted lies about me, stealing from the family store. Laura watched me from behind the counter, concern etched on her face. Your hands are shaking, she said quietly, sliding a fresh cup of coffee toward me. I'm fine. The cup clattered against the saucer, betraying my lie. Just tired. You're not fine. Laura pulled me aside as another customer walked in. You've been here since dawn. And I saw those posts we need to talk about. The bell above the door chimed again. Ryan stood there, looking lost, without his usual swagger. Mary, we have a problem. Just one? I laughed bitterly, but stopped when I saw his face. Mom and Dad are selling the store's inventory at half price. All of it. They're liquidating everything before Eleanor's lawyers can stop them. My stomach dropped. The store's collection included irreplaceable antique pieces, Eleanor's legacy, built over decades. That's not all, Ryan continued, lowering his voice. They're telling suppliers you've been forging orders, using the store's accounts for personal purchases. Nobody will work with you once they're done. Laura stepped forward. Mary, take the day. Handle this. I found Eleanor at the store, surrounded by customers fighting over discounted crystal. Mother stood at the register, smile pristine, as she destroyed everything we'd built. Quite the sale, I said, approaching the counter. Shame about the profit margins. Profit? Mother's smile sharpened. Oh, sweetheart, this isn't about profit. This is about consequences. Like the consequences of fraud. I kept my voice low, aware of watching customers. Associate de distance, or identity theft. Speaking of identity theft, she turned her phone toward me, showing an email draft. These purchase orders with your signature look rather suspicious. One anonymous tip to the police. My hands clenched. You wouldn't. Try me. She leaned closer. You started this war. I'm finishing it. Linda. Eleanor's voice cut through the chaos. Step away from that register. Mother's smile never wavered. Just helping our valued customers, Eleanor. Unless you're suggesting I shouldn't offer discounts? I'm suggesting you stop committing crimes in my store. Eleanor nodded to someone behind us. Kevin, the auditor, stepped forward, accompanied by 2 police officers. We have the warrant, he said quietly. Mother's facade cracked. What warrant? For the security footage, I said, watching her face pale. The real footage, not the edited versions you've been posting, showing you forging my signature, making those transfers. You little. She lunged across the counter, but Ryan pulled me back. Mom, stop. His voice cracked. It's over. The officers moved forward as Eleanor addressed the stunned customers. Due to an ongoing investigation, we're closing temporarily. Please exit the store. As the last customer left, Mother turned to Ryan. You're choosing her side after everything we've given you? Given me? Ryan's laugh sounded like mine now. Bitter, disillusioned. You mean the cars and cash you stole from grandmother? The sister you exploited? Some gift. Mother's mask finally shattered. Everything I did was to protect this family's legacy. No, Eleanor said softly. Everything you did was to protect your control. And now you've lost both. The officers stepped forward with handcuffs. Mother's eyes locked onto mine, burning with hatred. You think you've won? Watch your back, Mary. Family knows all your weaknesses. As they led her away, my phone buzzed with a notification. Father had posted online, heartbroken by our daughter's betrayal. The truth about Mary's embezzlement will shock you. Ryan gripped my shoulder. What do we do now? I stared at the half-empty store, thinking of Laura's lessons in honest business, of Eleanor's faith in me, of the customers who would read Father's lies and believe them. Now, I pulled up my own social media account. We tell the real story. Every receipt, every forged document, every security video. Let's see how their lies hold up against the truth. But as I typed, Mother's warning echoed. Family knows all your weaknesses. She was right about that at least. This wasn't over. It was just escalating into something darker, more personal. And I wasn't sure if I was ready for what came next. The graduation gown felt like armor as I stood in front of my bedroom mirror, diploma hidden safely at Laura's apartment. Mother's voice carried up the stairs, sharp with false concern, as she spoke to relatives arriving for the celebration. My phone buzzed. Another message from the City College's business program. Congratulations on your acceptance. I allowed myself a small smile before footsteps approached my door. Ready for your party? Father didn't wait for an answer before entering. His expression hardened at the sight of my packed bags. Going somewhere? I got into the business program. I kept my voice steady. Full scholarship? Absolutely not. He stepped closer. You have responsibilities here. The store. The store you and mother nearly destroyed? I met his gaze in the mirror. The one grandmother had to rescue from your fraud? You ungrateful! He caught himself, smoothing his expression. Your mother and I have discussed this. Since you're an adult now, you'll need to start paying rent. $5,000 a month should cover it. The amount hit like a physical blow. That's impossible. You know I can't. Then I guess you'll need to focus on the store instead of wasting time with school. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Family first, remember? This isn't about family. I turned to face him. This is about control. You have 1 hour to decide. He moved toward the door. Rent or store? Choose wisely. Downstairs, Mother was holding court in the living room. Of course we're proud of Mary's graduation, she was saying. But she's been so troubled lately. The stealing, the lies. My hands shook as I dialed Laura's number. No answer. I tried Megan next, then Eleanor. Nothing. A text from Ryan popped up. Mom canceled your party. Told everyone you had a breakdown. They're all leaving. I watched from my window as relatives departed. Mother's poison already taking effect. Another text arrived. From the college this time. Scholarship status under review due to concerns raised about student character. Mother had reached them too. The hour passed like a death sentence. When Father returned, Mother was with him. Well? She examined her manicured nails. Have you made your choice? I lifted my chin. Yes, I choose neither. Excuse me? I won't pay your extortion, and I won't be your slave. I grabbed my bags. I quit. Father blocked the door. Everything you own was bought with store money. Leave it all. Fine. I dropped the bags, keeping only my phone and wallet. Keep it. Oh, we'll keep more than that. Mother's smile turned vicious. Your car, store property, your college fund, frozen. Your reputation? She held up her phone, showing social media posts already spreading lies about my mental breakdown and theft. Destroyed. You can't. We can and we have. Father's voice was cold. You chose this, Mary. Remember that. They followed me downstairs, past Ryan watching wide-eyed from the kitchen, past the graduation decorations, now twisted with cruel irony. One last chance, Mother called, as I reached for the door. Stay, work, obey, and all this goes away. I stepped outside into the gathering dark, my graduation gown billowing in the wind. Behind me, Mother's voice carried one final blow. By the way, we reported your car stolen. Police should be here any minute. Good luck explaining that with your new reputation. The door slammed. Through the window, I saw Ryan reach for his phone, probably to warn me, but Mother snatched it away. Sirens wailed in the distance. My phone buzzed with notifications as more lies spread online. The scholarship committee's final decision, withdrawn due to character concerns. I started walking, each step taking me further from everything I'd known. No car, no money, no reputation, no future. Even my revenge had backfired, leaving me with nothing while my parents spun the narrative to their advantage. Laura's cafe was closed. Megan's house was dark. Eleanor wasn't answering. The sirens grew closer. I ducked into an alley, graduation gown catching on rough brick, and finally let myself cry. Not from sadness, from rage, pure crystallizing rage. They thought they'd broken me. They thought this was my lowest point. They were wrong. This wasn't the end of my revenge. This was just the beginning. Eleanor's heels clicked against the marble floor of the downtown bank, echoing like a countdown. I followed behind her, clutching the USB drive containing every shred of evidence I'd gathered. Kevin the auditor and Samantha the lawyer flanked us, carrying briefcases filled with documented proof of my parents' crimes. They're waiting at the conference room, the bank manager said, his expression grim. All of them. Through the glass walls, I could see Mother and Father seated at the long table, their lawyers surrounding them like guards. Ryan sat in the corner, looking smaller than I'd ever seen him. Ready? Eleanor squeezed my hand. I nodded, though my heart hammered against my ribs. The room fell silent as we entered. Mother's perfectly composed smile didn't quite mask her surprise at seeing Eleanor. Mother, what an unexpected— Save it, Linda. Eleanor sat at the head of the table, effectively claiming control. We're here about the offshore accounts. Father's face paled. What offshore accounts? Kevin connected his laptop to the projector. Banking records filled the screen. Transactions, transfers, accounts I'd discovered hidden in the store's books. Interesting timing, Mother said, her voice honey-sweet with venom, just as Mary's theft allegations come to light. You mean these allegations? I pulled up their social media posts, the carefully crafted lies they'd spread. Then I played the security footage, showing Mother forging my signature, Father making late-night transfers. Inadmissible, their lawyer started, but Samantha cut him off. The police already have copies, along with evidence of identity theft, fraud, and embezzlement. Mother's smile finally cracked. You ungrateful little— Careful, Linda. Eleanor's voice could have frozen fire. Think very carefully about your next words. Or what? Father slammed his hands on the table. You'll destroy our reputation, our lives, over some teenager's revenge fantasy? No, I said quietly. You destroyed those yourselves. I'm just exposing the truth. Ryan stood suddenly. Is it true about the loans in Mary's name? Mother reached for him. Ryan, sweetie, you don't understand. Show him, I told Kevin. The screen filled with loan documents, my forged signature on papers dated to my 18th birthday. Ryan's college fund transfers, redirected to hidden accounts. Years of theft disguised as family loyalty. You said Mary was stealing from us. Ryan's voice cracked. But it was you. It was always you. Everything we did was for this family. Mother's composure shattered completely. To maintain our status, our legacy, my legacy, Eleanor corrected, which you stole along with Mary's future and Ryan's trust. You have two options. Samantha lays out papers. Sign control of the store back to Eleanor and face civil charges, or refuse and face criminal prosecution. Father reached for the papers, but Mother grabbed his arm. We can fight this. Mary's evidence is circumstantial. Is this circumstantial? I played one final recording, Mother's own voice, whistling to frame me for their crimes. Or should we discuss the police report you filed about the car you forced me to leave behind? The room fell silent, except for the sound of Mother's ragged breathing. Sign the papers, Eleanor commanded. Now. Father's pen shook as he signed. Mother stared at me with pure hatred before adding her signature. Ryan, Eleanor said softly, go pack your things. You're coming to live with me. As Ryan fled the room, Mother made one final attempt. You think you've won? That you can run the store better than we did? You're nothing but a child playing at business. No, I cut her off. I'm the daughter you exploited, the sister you turned Ryan against, and the businesswoman who caught you stealing from your own mother. I stood gathering the signed papers. I'm everything you feared I'd become, someone you can't control. Get out, Eleanor told them. Your lawyers will hear from ours about restitution. As they left, Mother paused at the door. Family is forever, Mary. Remember that when you're alone with your precious victory. I'm not alone. I looked at Eleanor, thinking of Laura, Megan, and everyone who'd stood by me. I have real family now, and a legacy built on truth, not lies. The door closed behind them with a final click. Through the glass, I watched my parents walk away, their perfectly crafted world crumbling with each step. Eleanor touched my shoulder, ready to rebuild. I thought of the store, of Ryan, of all the pieces that needed fixing. Yes, I said, but this time we do it right. The store's bell chimed. As I unlocked the doors, morning light streaming through newly cleaned windows. The display cases, once stuffed with overpriced crystal, now showcased local artisans' work, alongside our traditional pieces, each item tagged with its creator's story, each price fair and transparent. Ryan appeared beside me, his uniform pressed, hair actually combed. First quarter numbers are ready for review. Already? I smiled at his eagerness. These past few months of working together had revealed a different side of my brother, one that actually cared about something beyond instant gratification. Laura's business management tips helped, he admitted, though grandmother's sustainability initiative is what really boosted sales. Eleanor's voice carried from the back office. Speaking of sustainability, she emerged carrying a worn leather portfolio. I found these in the old archives, my mother's original designs for eco-friendly packaging, decades ahead of her time. The portfolio contained detailed sketches of biodegradable containers, reusable gift wrapping, even plans for a recycling program. Why didn't you implement these before? Linda and David said it wasn't profitable enough. Eleanor's expression hardened momentarily. They were always focused on quick returns, not long-term vision. My phone buzzed. Another article about my parents' court settlement. Their faces splashed across business pages, documenting their fall from grace. They'd avoided jail time through a plea deal, but their reputation was destroyed. Last I heard, they'd moved across the country, starting over where nobody knew their story. Still following their news? Ryan asked quietly. No, I put the phone away, just making sure they stay gone. The bell chimed again. Megan entered, carrying coffee corner supplies for our new in-store cafe partnership with Laura. Ready for the Chamber of Commerce meeting? They want to feature us in their small business spotlight. Actually, Eleanor interrupted, I think it's time Mary heard the real reason I wanted to meet this morning. She pulled out another document, transfer papers for complete ownership of the store. My name listed as sole proprietor. Grandmother, I can't. You already are. She smiled. You've been running this place for months. I just made it official. But what about my retirement? She laughed. I'll still be around. Someone needs to help implement these sustainable designs. But this store's future belongs to you now, both of you, she added, nodding to Ryan. The bell chimed once more. A customer entered, one of many who'd returned after our rebranding, drawn by our commitment to ethical business practices and community engagement. As Ryan moved to help them, I studied the store, our store. The walls no longer felt like a prison, but a foundation. Each display told a story of transformation, not just of the business, but of us. There is one condition, Eleanor said, her voice turning serious. In the back office there's a safe. Inside is a letter from your mother. My hands clenched. When? Arrived yesterday. I haven't opened it. Ed. The choice hung heavy. Read it or burn it. Continue the cycle of pain or risk opening old wounds. Whatever you decide, Ryan said, returning from the customer. We're here. I thought of everything that had changed. The store's revival, Ryan's growth, my own transformation from victim to victor. Maybe that's why Mother's final words at the bank still echoed. Family is forever. She was right, but not in the way she meant. Real family, the kind built on trust and truth, was forever. The kind represented by Eleanor's wisdom, Ryan's redemption, Laura's friendship, Megan's loyalty. Keep the letter, I told Eleanor. Maybe someday I'll want to read it, but not today. She nodded, understanding what I wasn't saying. Some wounds needed time to heal. Some bridges would remain burned. And that was okay. The morning sun streamed stronger now, catching the crystal displays and sending rainbows dancing across the walls. Each color represented a different path forward. Sustainable practices, community partnerships, ethical business, family healing. Ready to open properly? Ryan asked, holding the day's ledger. I looked around at our transformed world. The cafe corner where Laura would soon arrive, the local art displays, the recycling bins, the transparent pricing. At Eleanor beaming with pride, and Ryan standing tall with purpose. Yes, I said, moving toward the register. We're ready. The store's bell chimed again, welcoming the future.